Sequence is a basic unit of sequence stratigraphy, just like formation, which is basic unit of lithostratigraphy. Sequence can be defined as a stratigraphic unit composed of relatively conformable succession of genetically related strata bounded at its top and base by unconformities or their correlative conformities. Any stratigraphic unit having conformable succession of genetically related strata that is bounded above as well as below by unconformity or its correlative conformity, then such succession of conformable strata is termed as a sequence. By conformable succession of strata, we mean that there is no time gap between the adjacent or between the consecutive strata. There is no strata missing. So such succession or such strata are then termed as conformable succession. Now, what is unconformity and what is its correlative conformity? First, we discuss what is unconformity and its correlative conformity. Conformity refers to surface of erosion and or non-deposition. It may be defined as a surface separating younger strata from older strata and along which there is evidence of subaerial exposure and erosion, and along which significant hiatus or time gap is indicated, then such surface is termed as unconformity. Any surface which separates underlying older rocks from overlying younger rocks, plus there is evidence of subaerial exposure and erosion, and along which time gap, significant time gap is indicated, by which we mean that in certain time interval of deposition is missing, deposition within certain time interval is missing, there is break in the sedimentation. So such surface is then termed as unconformity. What is correlative conformity? The depositional surfaces that are synchronous to unconformity is termed as correlative conformity. Now, how any surface that develops at the same time as unconformity, then such surface of deposition is called as correlative conformity. Now, how does it form? If a river erodes an area and then deposits this load in adjacent area at the same time, both unconformity and conformity will form. Suppose there is a river moving in this direction. If it erodes sediments in this region, then these eroded sediments will be transported and will be deposited in the adjacent area. So here unconformity is developing, while at the same time in adjacent area deposition of sediment is occurring and conformity is forming and conformity develops. So the conformity is forming at the same time as unconformity. So such conformity is then termed as correlative conformity. As we discussed that sequence is unconformity or correlative conformity bounded succession of conformable strata These are the conformable succession of strata, and these are unconformity or correlative conformity. And remember that unconformity and their correlative conformity in sequence stratigraphy is also termed as sequence boundary. So we may define sequence as a stratigraphic unit composed of relatively conformable succession of genetically related strata that is bounded at its top as well as at its base by the sequence boundary. Means that any conformable succession having sequence boundary at its top as well as at its base, then such succession of strata is termed as sequence boundary. And I have told you that sequence boundary refers to the unconformity and its correlative conformity. Here you can say that a stratigraphic unit composed of relatively conformable succession of genetically related strata bounded above and below by sequence boundary. And sequence boundary refers to unconformities and their correlative conformity. Principally, a depositional sequence represents one complete cycle of deposition bounded above and below by erosional unconformity or non-marine subaerial erosion surface. Principally, a depositional sequence represents one complete cycle of deposition. In other words, that each sequence represents deposition during one rise and one fall. Each sequence represents deposition during one complete cycle, means that during one rise and during one fall.